Miss Helen, thank you so much for the super. Miss Helen Rue says, "Hi, Andrea. Waiting to hear back from a job interview I had on Friday that went well. Been checking emails all day for news." Okay, stop checking them. Okay, that's the big thing. Okay, don't check them. And this is important for everybody. When there's something that you're waiting on, the tendency is to check. Check the email, check the text message. Did they call? Did they write? Is the mail in the mailbox? And you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. But when you do that, what you are actually subconsciously projecting is this hasn't come yet. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. That's why you're checking, because you feel like you're waiting. And so every time you check, you actually project I'm waiting into your reality. And because you're projecting I'm waiting, it takes longer. It takes longer. It takes longer. So this is the old adage, a watched pot never boils. Okay. And you'll notice this. You want to take your eye off the pot. You want to take your eye off the emails. You're going to notice that things tend to manifest when you're not looking for them. So when you put it down and you go do something else entirely, you get lost in another project, you're talking to somebody else, you're doing something totally different, and you've put it out of your mind, that's when it shows up. It doesn't show up when you're checking for it. And this is a phenomenon you guys will see, is that when you check, it just takes longer. It just takes longer. It just takes longer. So use this as an opportunity to practice just distraction. You don't have to let it go in that you don't want the job to happen. Of course, you still want the job to happen. That's fine. But let go of the checking of the emails. Okay. It may be helpful to practice this with other things too. Okay, so maybe on a smaller scale, one way that you can practice this is if you're sitting at a light. If you're sitting at a light and you want the light to change, you want it to turn green instead of red. Instead of sitting there looking at the light, give yourself something else to do to distract yourself. Maybe, count license plates or look for things in other cars or clean out your purse. Do something that distracts you from the light, because you'll notice that as soon as you get immersed, the light changes, because this is a dynamic that you'll see time and time again. And the more you see it, the easier it will be for you to do. Okay. Good luck on your interview. And the positive sign here is that you're saying it went well. So just put it went well. It went good. They'd be lucky to have me. Now I'm going to go do something else. Okay. Great question. Thank you very much. Rich asks here, how do you work through feelings of jealousy, specifically in relationships? You got to flip it around. Okay. Different things can work. Okay. If let's say, I'm not sure, let's just say that you're with somebody who gets a lot of attention and that's the jealousy, since we're talking about relationships. Okay. The tendency can be, oh, maybe this person's going to have a wandering eye. Maybe this person's going to leave me. We have to flip that somehow. Okay. This person gets so much attention, and I get chosen by someone who gets a lot of attention. That's how hot I am. Okay. You got to find a way to flip it. So you got to take the same situation and make it a positive rather than a negative. Okay. Or perhaps let's say that your boyfriend says something to try to get under your skin. Oh, this girl was talking to me, and that kind of stuff sets you off. Okay. Instead of it setting you off, what you can sit there and think is, oh, he's telling me this because he wants my attention. Okay. Does that make sense? He's telling me this because he wants my attention. And that's true. Why else would he be telling you that unless he wanted your attention? So the other girl is actually irrelevant. Okay. So I'm just giving you those as a couple of examples. You have to find a way to look at that exact situation and say, how does this situation show that I'm the chosen one? Okay. That's what you have to do. I hope that that's helpful. Okay. Here we go. ASMR Tingle Pink. How to stop the cycle of every month feeling fear. How will I get rent and bills paid? I try and trust and do okay for a while, but the fear starts setting in after a while of no changes in finances. Thank you. Okay. Oh, all right. So we want to find a way to reframe the situation. Okay. So that's always the thing. We want to find a way to reframe the situation. Right now, the way that we're looking at it and the way that we have been looking at it is it's been a struggle to pay the rent. It's been a struggle to get the bills paid. This is kind of a scary process. So whenever I think about that, my mind is defaulting on this is a scary situation. And so because of that, I continue to attract to myself kind of a scary situation with my bills. Okay. That's it. That's all that's going on. Okay. So my present state of being is I believe this is a scary situation. Therefore, the way that it's reflecting back to me is kind of scary. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to reframe how it's going. We don't want to act like something different is happening. We want to reframe exactly what is going on as a positive, exactly as what is going on as you being empowered and things working out for you. Okay. So there's two ways that you could look at it. It's a scary situation is one, or man, I always pull it out. It doesn't matter what happens. I always still manage to get it done. Do you see the difference? Okay. So somebody can be sitting there kind of on fumes with their finances and they can be worried about it. Or the alternative attitude is, man, I always pull it out no matter what. Isn't it crazy that no matter what happens, I still manage to get it done? Or I still manage to have a place to stay? I still manage to have the things that I need? No matter what happens, it still happens. So now what you're starting to do is you're starting to frame yourself as someone who's immune to crises. Okay. This is helpful. And this is something that I've done within my own life too, is that if I'm in situations that look kind of hairy, scary, I'll tell myself that is, well, it really doesn't matter what the universe throws at me. I still end up okay. So now what I'm starting to project into the universe is I'm immune to whatever the universe throws at me. I'm immune to things like bills. I'm immune to things like the car breaking down. I'm immune to things like, a downturn in the economy. I still make it work. Now you're not going to have that reaction. Instead, what's going to happen if you practice this enough is, let's say you have a month where it looks like you're coming up short on your bills. You're actually going to start to look at it as a challenge. Like, okay, I bet you I'm going to pull this one off too. And now you're not pushing against it. And that's the whole trick. The whole trick with alchemizing your reality is to stop pushing against what's happening and instead lean into it and act like it's working out for you. Okay, so try that out. Great question. Miss Melody, thank you for the super. Melody would love to create her own masterclass speaking event as a speaker. Currently terrified of speaking in social situations, even being looked at, wanting to bridge into public speaking to host events. Thank you. Isn't that interesting? I think I think that happens to a lot of people. A lot of times you're called to do something you're just absolutely terrified to do. How many of you have had that happen? There's something I want to do this, but I'm scared to do it. I want to do this, but I'm scared to do it. And it's actually kind of a beautiful thing because it's like your consciousness is trying to break you out of that fear. Okay. So when you have this kind of a situation, and I think we talked a little bit on this with social media last week, Melody, but you really want to focus on just start going in that direction, start doing. Okay. Because the fear will continue the more you pull back. Okay. So it's an interesting thing. If there's something that you want to do and you hesitate to do it, you start to ruminate and the fear starts to grow. Okay. So it's one of those things like, let's say on a completely unrelated note, let's say that you have a bill you have to pay. Okay. And it's a bill you don't want to pay, but you have to pay it. And you got to go to some crazy website and do it a weird way. And it's going to take some time. You've never done it that way before, but you have this thing you need to do. And instead of just doing it, you put it off to the side. And then every day you're thinking, I got to pay that bill. I got to pay that bill. And that starts to take up a lot of mental space to the point where that bill is actually starting to stress you out. Okay. But by the time you actually go and do the bill, you realize it wasn't that big of a deal. And you're like, I should have just done the bill 6 weeks ago. Why didn't I do it then? Okay. This is kind of what I'm talking about. When you feel this sense that there's something I want to do, but I'm afraid to do it, you will be better served by just kind of jumping in quickly, because what that will do is it will stop that fear from starting to grow. Okay. So instead of, I'll do this someday, it's, I'm doing this now. And even if you kind of stumble, at least you started to do it. And you'll notice that it's not that big of a deal. A lot of the things that people are afraid of with public speaking, it's the what ifs. What if someone doesn't like this? What if someone falls asleep? What if someone rejects? So what? Once you do it, you realize it doesn't really matter because you finish it up and you're still alive and you move on to the next. So what I might recommend for you Bridge into public speaking. You might want to start with the lives like you talked about last time. Just get online and do some short little lives. If I were you, I might do them very small, but maybe like a little 5 minute or 10-minute thing, something small, something achievable, something doable. And the whole purpose of it is, Melody, I'm just going to get up here and practice public speaking. And the whole goal is I'm just going to be on here for 5 minutes. Not I'm going to get 1,000 followers. Not everyone's going to send me a super chat. Not I'm going to become YouTube famous. No, I'm just going to get on here and practice my public speaking for 5 minutes. That way, if you go live and you're up there and you're broadcasting and you do it, at the end of 5 minutes, you can say, oh, I did it. Now you feel accomplishment. I did it. I went live. I went live. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Now you're not afraid. Okay. So I wouldn't go from 0 to masterclass TED Talk. Okay. I wouldn't make that my first step, but just practice some smaller ones. And every time you do it, oh, I did it. I did it. I did it. Now you're going to feel a sense of agency about speaking live. Okay. Great question. Thank you so much. Miss Alicia, thank you for the question. Alicia says, after fighting for my life in a custody battle for years, spending tens of thousands of dollars on lawyers, I am living with constant anxiety. The fight is over now, but how to get rid of the anxiety? Well, you gotta retrain yourself. Okay. Retrain yourself. So it's kind of like post-traumatic stress disorder. Like once you kind of create an anxious response to something, then every time you think about it, you have an anxious response. So what you want to start to do is to figure out how to, again, reframe how we're looking at that given situation so that whenever it comes up, I have an empowering thought rather than a disempowering or anxious thought. Okay. One thing that I might be thinking about is how has my life become more peaceful? Okay. How has my life become more peaceful? How has my life become easier because of what happened? Okay. Because right now, what we're saying is this happened and it's caused me anxiety. Therefore, I'm projecting my anxiety into my world and I'm having more of it. So we want to flip it and say, how has this exact same situation created more peace in my life? Okay. So there is more peace in my life because the fight is over. I got through that and now there's less fighting. So there's more peace in my life. Maybe I don't have to deal with this person anymore or on a much less amount of time. So now there's more peace in my life. So see, now what we're doing is we're looking at the same exact situation and we're saying that this situation caused me peace, not anxiety. The custody battle caused me peace, not anxiety. Now we have things sorted out. Now I don't have to see this guy as much. Okay. Now this is over. Now the fight is over. So the battle created peace for me, not anxiety. I might also change how I look at it. Instead of a battle, the custody negotiation. Because if I'm calling it a battle, it's a custody battle. It's a custody battle. If that's something you say frequently, which you might, I don't know. But if you say it frequently, then we're infusing. It's a battle. It's stressful. It's hard. So I might change the wording that I use for it as well. Okay. But congrats on getting through it. You're done. That's good. Thank you so much. Opulent Beauty, thank you so much for the super. Very generous. I appreciate you. She says, my daughter and I are temporarily houseless and had to stay in a hotel in friends' houses. We are running out of housing options, but we need to find a safe placement soon. I have manifested a couple hundred to keep afloat, but not stable. What can I do? Stability is what I'm hearing in this question. Okay. The reason why this is speaking to me, so I've been bouncing around housing things too the last few months, a little bit different than you. Okay. But one thing I did notice this, and so I'm kind of glad you brought this up. When I was in temporary housing before I settled into something more permanent, I started to have this sense that I didn't have stability. Okay. And when I didn't have stability and I didn't know where I was going, that started to create more nervousness within me and also more chaos in my own mind because I was constantly thinking about where am I going to live? What's going to happen? And instead of being grounded and in a peaceful state, my mind was always out here doing this. Okay. So I'm going to tell you to do what I started to do because I was thinking that was kind of a problem for me. And what I started to do instead was find ways to reduce the noise in your reality. Okay. Because what we want to start to do is project the idea that I am stable and I am steady. I am stable and I am steady rather than I'm all over the place. Okay. Because if you start to project, I am stable and I am steady, your reality will become more so, including stable housing. So, things that you can do, maybe go through Opulent Beauty and take some inventory about things that you are focusing on that you don't need to be focusing on, okay, to reduce the noise. So maybe there are things that you're looking over or checking or dwelling about or focusing on that aren't actually getting you anywhere. See if you can tone those things down. A really practical example of this, like one way that's very tangible that you can try this with, would be with just figuring out what you're going to wear every day. Okay, so when I was in that temporary housing situation, I could tell my mind was all over the place, and I wanted to reduce the amount of decisions that I was making and the amount of thinking that I was doing so I felt more peaceful. So, one thing that I did was I just started to wear like the same kind of outfits week to week. I didn't try to reinvent the wheel. I didn't try to think of something clever to wear. It was like it's Tuesday, these are the pants, this is the shirt, period. So I didn't have to think about that. So it was one less thing I had to worry about, which allowed some of the noise to dial down. You want to try to do that. Get rid of as many distractions as possible so that you feel more steady so that your reality can reflect back steadier. Really great question. Thank you so much for asking that. Another reminder, guys, not for all of you, but for any of you guys who are interested in manifestation techniques that you can apply to your business or your sales profession. This is a program that I created last year. We've got lots of you guys that do run your own businesses and work in sales. Not all of you, but I got lots of requests to build this program, and I have not put it on sale since last year. But if you're interested in learning more, the name of this program is called Sales Magnet. So, generating sales into a business can be a tricky way to manifest because there can be a lot of rejection and stress in the sales process for people. Okay, so there are people that have reached out to me that say it's hard for me to make sales because I'm afraid of being rejected, or I'm afraid of trying to sell something at a particular price. I'm afraid that someone's going to feel like I'm being awkward or being pushy. And all this kind of stuff can make it very hard to manifest sales into a business or a sales career because you really get what you put out. And so if you're putting out anxiety or stress into your business or profession, it can really push away paying customers. And so I built this program to help people kind of get around that and change the energy around so they can allow money into their profession. So, if you're interested in learning more about this program, make sure to go ahead and sign up for the notifications when that course goes on its best price ever sale next month. I'm going to be putting it on sale for 50% off for 1 week only. It will only be on sale one time this year, and I'm not sure when I'll put it on sale again. I've been doing a lot less sales this year, and I probably will continue that. So, maybe a while before I do this one again. So, if you're at all interested, go ahead and check out the notifications. I'll send you information on that program and the coupon code. In addition to that, if you have not yet, please make sure to take my manifesting test. Okay, so it is free. It is only 5 minutes long. I know a lot of you guys have taken it, but if you are interested in knowing that you really are the creator of your own reality, this is a free 5-minute test where you can prove it to yourself. Put something out and watch it come back without doing anything else. Okay, so you can take this test now at manifestingtest.com. Again, that is manifestingtest.com. All right. In addition to that, I do plan on being back next Monday, same time, same place. And thanks to everybody for sending the supers. Again, please come back next Monday if you enjoyed today's live. Same time, same place, and turn on your notifications. So just in case I do change the time, which I haven't done in a while, but it has happened, you can turn on your notifications on YouTube and you'll be notified when I go live. And then also, if you have not yet, of course, please make sure to subscribe, like the video. Thank you so much for all the supers, all the great questions. I enjoyed talking to all of you guys.